So, what we're going to spend the rest of our time doing is walking through some of the pieces along the way that you need to remember. And I cannot do this alone. I have invited, Graham, the most beautiful woman in the world to come and help me. And we get to do this together. We get to do this a couple times each year. And so please give a warm welcome to my wife, Lauren Snyder. So the way this is going to go is we're just going to kind of, if you've got your notes, before you get into a relationship, we're going to have some notes to the girls and some notes to the guys. And if you're following the house buying analogy, this is your pre-approval. This is your internal inventory to make sure you get this squared away before you ever step into a relationship, okay? And so I want to start with the girls, and we're just going to move right through these blanks, okay? And the only reason I'm doing the girl section is because from a guy's perspective, I want to talk about a few things that help put yourself in a better position to get the guy's attention, all right? The first thing is this. Consumed by physical appearance reveals insecurity. Insecurity. When you are consumed by your physical appearance, when all you're worried about is, oh, I'm so fat, or do I look pretty, or I think the way Graham said it, or I gotta look and feel, or I'm never good looking enough. If that's all that you're consumed by, it reveals an insecurity. In other words, the guy is going to look at you and go, this is going to be a lot of work. I'm going to have to tell her all the time or hear all the time, am I fat in this? Which is a no-win situation for us. Even if we're silent in answering that question, it's over, okay? So when you're consumed by your physical appearance, it is an insecure deal, and it's a hurdle for guys. It's a little bit of a turnoff, okay? Lack of healthy female friendships reveals relationship issues. If I hear from a girl, oh, I really don't have any friends because I just don't like girls, or if I see that all that follows this person around is drama, then I'm going, oh, this is going to be a toughie. When I first saw Lauren had a group of girlfriends that she hung out with, and before we were even dating, I'm like, hey, do you want to hang out tonight? And she would go, actually, I'm hanging out with my roommates tonight. I'm like, man, I got dissed for roommates. That's intense. But there was a part of me that was grateful that she had a community of people that she could hang out with. So that's really important, healthy female relationships. And we talked about this last week. Before you can ever date somebody, you got to learn how to be a good friend first, all right? Overly flirtatious behavior reveals lack of self-control. Now, I need to be real clear about this. There are some guys out there that really like flirtatious girls. And they're probably not the kind of guy that care about your heart or who God is helping you become. From my perspective, when I see a girl flirt with a guy and then flirt with another guy and then flirt with a different guy and then flirt with a different guy and try to get a different guy's attention, all I think about is, even if she is my girlfriend, she will always be playing the field. Lack of self-control. And so that's really important for me. And then the fourth thing, emotional drama. The roller coaster of ups and downs reveals internal vulnerability. It means you're not in an emotional place where you can withstand a healthy relationship. And so you need to get to a place where you are comfortable in your own skin with the way that God designed you, with all of the things that kind of cause emotional drama in our life, and be somewhat okay with that. That doesn't mean you don't have your ups and downs, but you know the people who it's way up, and then it's a crash, and then it's way up, and then it's a crash. Before you date, get that in order, all right? Those are 4 things that are really helpful. And I thought Graham pointed out another one. Girls that are real indecisive, hey, what do you want to do tonight? I don't know. What do you want to do? That can be kind of a bummer. And so I think you're right on. All right, so I'm done. Lauren, go ahead.
All right. Ooh, that's loud. Sorry. For the boys, I think the biggest thing is, gentlemen, we are not looking for a boy We are looking for a man. Thank you, ladies. Yes, am I right on that one? Absolutely. And I mean, certainly you're not, a lot of you are under 18, and so the idea is that you're striving to become a man. And so the first thing is boyish behavior is a turn off. We don't want to see you acting like a moron, acting like an idiot. We want to see someone who is acting like they want to be a man. The second thing, I want to make sure I get it just right. Can I peek at this? All right. Confidence begins in pursuit of things that matter. So again, coming back to, we want someone who's striving to be a man. Are you looking at how you can grow up and get a job and provide for yourself and maybe someday provide for your wife? Are you thinking about things that really matter? Are you standing up for injustice? And are you standing up for people that can't stand up for themselves? We don't want someone who's a bully. We don't want someone who picks on other people and who makes fun of other people. We want someone who really fights for what is right and who works towards becoming somebody that we can trust and look up to and really respect. The next one is how you treat your mom and your sister is an indicator of how a date will be treated. We want someone who, I think I just said it, who's respectful, who talks about their mom and their sister appropriately, and who treats them respectfully, and who just really takes care of them, who opens doors for them, who stands up for their mom and their sister, because that's what we want for ourselves. And we know that if you treat your mom and your sister that way, then someday that's how you might treat us.
I think we live in a culture for us guys that emasculates us. I mean, every movie that you watch, not every, but it seems like some of the movies that are out, or if you watch guys on sitcoms, they're just idiots. They don't know how to live their life. If you watch carefully and listen to the phrases and exchanges that are brought about to young men in particular, to young husbands, I mean, even The Simpsons, who is it that runs the family? Mom does. Now, I'm not opposed to a strong female presence, a strong female leader in the family, but for so many years, men have become boys, and it's become acceptable to just live as a 20-something single guy that plays video games, moves back in with your mom and dad, and really accomplishes nothing with your life. It's embarrassing. And so for young men in particular, if you want to capture the opposite sex attention, the best way to do that is to have a mission for your life and to demonstrate that you are willing to do whatever it takes to accomplish that. There is no other way to describe that. I hear my wife talk about it in some of the relationships that she observes, around work and within our family. And, she says, I just want to see these young men become not boys and be confident, stop having drama issues or being lazy all the time. So I think that's a great tip. So that's the pre-approval stage. Those are the things you need to be thinking about long before you ever step into a dating relationship. Then when you slide over, you need to start evaluating exactly what it is that you're looking for. And so we're going to talk about three things. And I just go ahead and write down these three words. Know what you're looking for. First, you got to know what values you're looking for. Know what interests you are looking for. And know what type of personality you are looking for. The physical attraction will take care of itself. You don't have to think about that. You're going to look at somebody and go, they're cute. I'm attracted to them. Or you're going to look at them and go, not so much. Not right now. No. And so often in dating relationships, that's all that people look for. It's like they're trying to buy a house without ever walking inside of it, without ever looking at what's going on behind the front door. And they go, yeah, and that they're buying a facade, a physical expression. And so go ahead and talk about some of the values for a minute.
Yeah, I think if you're anything like me, Ben and I have talked a little bit lately. Our daughter will be 5 soon. And I kind of haphazardly told Ben the other day, oh, Ben, if she is half as boy crazy as I was in high school, we are in trouble. And he said, what? I think you just didn't quite realize he didn't meet me until college, which is probably a really good thing. So looking back.
I'm thinking, if she's half as boy crazy, we're in trouble?
Yeah.
Oh my,
So
I'm not
this is
emotionally prepared for this.
This is really good for me to look back and go, if I could have changed some things and saved a little bit of heartache. And thinking about values and interests and personality, those really are the important things. If you're anything like me, I mean, how many classes did I sit through not paying attention to my teacher or professor or whatever, because I'm sitting there making my wish list of what I wanted in my husband someday. I mean, am I the only one that's done that? I'm guessing no. And so on my wish list, I had 6'3" and plays the guitar. No, you tried. But
Awesome. This is going well for me.
But my point is, I did have handsome, and he totally got that one. I mean it. But the point is, though, that on my list I had other things, like cares about his family and is respectful to his mom and his sister and things like that. Loves God with all of his heart. Is a leader amongst his peers, is somebody who fights for what's right, is somebody who's confident, not conceited, but is confident in who God created him to be. Those are the things that were on my list that were really, really important. And so I, put 3 stars next to him and made sure that when I found Ben, I looked back at my list and it fit. And Ben and I think we laugh a lot because some people will say opposites attract. Well, in so many ways, we're not opposites whatsoever. And so looking at the list and thinking about, we both have pretty strong personalities. We're both firstborns. We both tend to be leaders. And, I'm bossy. And
so am I.
Yeah, a little bit. So we have these personality things that we've had to maneuver through, but they were important things to look at and to put on the list, and then to not flinch on the things that are really important. I think if I can encourage you in any way, it's the fact that you're young. You have room to be picky. Be picky. It's worth it right now.
Especially since, what is it, like 2 to 3% of relationships in high school actually make it. When I tell you the story about Lauren and I finding our first house, we were devastated. And we looked at a second one and we made an offer that we didn't get. And we made an offer on a third one that fell through. And I remember Lauren and I going, are we ever going to find a house? And thinking there are hundreds of houses for sale. And yet in the moment, it felt like we were never going to find the one for us. And as I was thinking, we were talking about it today, how many times have you said, am I ever going to find the boyfriend or the girlfriend? And you got to trust. You got to trust that there are plenty out there. And what you see at your school isn't the pond. It's like the mud puddle, okay? So it's okay. Don't worry. There's other places where you can go fishing for people to be in a relationship. Values for me that were important in her. And we're going to talk about some of these in a little bit more detail. But I wanted somebody that was fun to be with. I wanted somebody that was a positive, energetic person. And I didn't realize how positive and energetic she is. I mean, she floats out of bed with a bubble machine. It takes me about an hour to get awake, But constantly, my wife is positive and excited. And that was something that I was looking for early on. I wanted somebody who was great to have a conversation with. Somebody who loved to go on adventures and loved to explore new things. And that is one of the favorite things that we do together. So not only was that a value, but that was an interest that I was going after. And I wanted somebody who wasn't afraid to do ministry with me. And when we were dating, even before that, we would talk about how we wanted to be in a relationship where we wanted to make an impact in other people's lives together, no matter what the cost. And that right there has been one of the best values for us to hold on to and help us really enjoy a fabulous relationship. And so I'm telling you, for those of you that are excited about Jesus, but you look at your school and you don't see a whole lot of options, just wait and trust that God will bring somebody along. And it is worth it. It is so worth it to be in a relationship with somebody that wants to make an impact the same way that your heart desires to do that as well.